And I'll be damned if anybody, especially my friend and my brother, who did nothing for years other than play basketball, yet repeatedly announced his desires to one day run for the governor of Alabama, is going to sit here and tell me it's a bit too much. It's too much when I say it's too much.
Man. It's looking like Stephen A. Smith was just called out again, man. Charles Barkley called out Stephen A. Smith. And I would like to go over that with you guys. It's about to be that time pretty soon, man, where Charles Barkley goes over there and work at ESPN. He was talking about that. You know, he was talking about the confusion with that, and that's what really turned him off with signing this ESPN deal. Let's check out a little bit of that clip, and then I'll follow up with some more commentary.
And they, will you work with Perkins and Stephen A. and all those guys? Is that how it's set up? How's it set up for you guys?
Well, that's one thing that's been very interesting and frustrating for me. We actually don't have any idea how this thing going to work. We have no idea how much we're going to work. We don't know who we're going to work with. So that's, to be honest with you, that's actually been one of the most frustrating things, and one of the reasons I hesitate to sign off on a deal. You know, we've been fighting behind closed doors. I'm like, I'm not taking no job, and I know how. Number one, the most important thing is how much I'm going to work. That's been my biggest gripe, to be honest with you. Like, well, how much am I going to work? I mean, the notion that I'm going to work more as I get older, that's just not going to happen.
But that's what Charles Barkley had to say, right? But this is where Stephen A. Smith got in his feelings about Charles Barkley calling him out, because Charles Barkley said he's not going to be a control puppet, pretty much, right? So let's highlight that, and then I'll follow up with some more commentary. Here's the clip.
I don't want to talk about LeBron James every freaking day, or Brett Favre, or Aaron Rodgers, or all the bullshit you got to talk about. I don't want to do that every day. Now you're going to ESPN, and you've been critical of ESPN, particularly their coverage of the Lakers. What are your thoughts as this is your last season heading over?
Yeah, Dan, I'm not going to change. I'm going to do what I want to do. Nobody's going to tell me what to say or what to do. I thought I get upset. They're like the Lakers are contenders. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not contenders. You know, Kendrick Perkins, who don't know his ass from a hole in the wall. He's like, the Lakers are contenders. The Lakers are contenders, and I said, they're not contenders. And clearly, if you lose in the first round, you're not a contender. But I'm not going to change my personality. Ain't nobody. They can't fire me. I make too much money to get fired. So they can't fire me. First of all, they fire me. They got to pay me for 7 years, and I'm gonna quit way before then. But if they want to fire me, I would love for them to do that. The only decision we've been making is how long I'm gonna work, and I've been going back and forth with TNT for the last 2 months, whether I'm gonna work 2 years or 3 years. But if I really wanted to, I could stay for 7 years, which there's no chance of that happening. Zero. But I have made it. I'm making a decision whether I'm going to stay 2 years or 3 years, but it's more likely 2 years. But if they're going to fire me, they'd have to pay me for 7, which they're not going to do, because I make too much money. So I'm not worried about getting fired, and nobody at ESPN is going to tell me what to say or do. Period.
Stephen A. Smith went on his podcast, and he also responded, and I would like to highlight that for you guys as well. Let's check it out right here.
Talk about people not taking me seriously all you want to. We'll see. Because I'm a serious brother. That doesn't mean I don't know how to laugh and smile and have fun, but I know who the hell I am. We're talking about me on General Hospital. Why now? I've been on General Hospital for 7 years. It's a soap opera. That's not a sports show. It's a different audience. I went on Law and Order. That's the first time I've been on primetime television for anything outside of working for ESPN. That's Law and Order. That's not sports. So if you're watching sports, chances are you're not watching those other things. You might not be watching soaps. You might not be watching Law and Order. So one would argue I'm reaching a different audience, and I'm expanding and showing that I'm somewhat of a Renaissance man, that I have the versatility to do the things that I'm doing. People saw me acting. They said, hey, he does a good job. And I'm supposed to scale that back because of my conspicuous presence? Last time I checked, that's what we're in this business for. And the very people laughing and dismissing it, are you trying to tell me you would turn down those opportunities if it came your way? Why are you in this business? Yes, it's easy for Charles Barkley to sit up there and say 2 commercials a year, even though that's a lie, because he's definitely doing more than 2. But when you're making the money that you're making, that you have been making for years, you could afford to turn down those opportunities. Don't bring up my contract now. That was just signed last month. You've been making that money for years. So when we look at it from that standpoint, what's that about? And oh, by the way, when you see me at other places, whether it be podcasts or other shows, I don't volunteer to go talk to these people. Y'all call and ask. Yet you'll call and ask and then say, I want to be seen, when you're the one to call and ask me to be seen. Could it be because I speak with substance? That I have something to say that will draw viewers and listeners to your respective shows? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing in this business? So Charles Barkley, you continue to do the great job that you've been doing for TNT, and next year it'll start at ESPN. And let Shaq market the hell out of himself the way that he does, significantly better than almost anybody on this planet. And let me do what I do. I have no desire to run for office. I have no desire to be a politician. I love talking about politics. I love talking about giving social commentary on social issues. And I love talking about sports. And if that somehow, some way translates into me being in the mix and people talking to me about a potential political position, so be it. It's not where my interest lies. But I don't rule it out because I believe I could win. And I'll be damned if anybody, especially my friend and my brother, who did nothing for years other than play basketball, yet repeatedly announced his desires to one day run for the governor of Alabama, is going to sit here and tell me it's a bit too much. It's too much when I say it's too much.
So yeah, that's Charles Barkley calling out Stephen A. Smith. Like Charles Barkley said, man, pretty much everything is in his favor. You know, if ESPN wants to fire him, like they did with Max Kellerman, where they put Max Kellerman on the shelf where, you know, they're still paying Max Kellerman. Because remember, Marcellus Wiley had exposed that because everybody was wondering like, yo, how come Stephen A. Smith can continue to talk about how he got rid of Max? He didn't like Max, and Max was just this bad guy to work with alongside him, and he didn't want him on First Take anymore. And we seen Stephen A. Smith do a full tour run, but yet we didn't hear anything from Max Kellerman. Well, that's because Max Kellerman got shelved by ESPN. They put him on the shelf, but they were still paying him as well. So that's the reason why we didn't hear nothing from Max Kellerman, man. So they still had him on contract and was paying him. And that's what Charles Barkley is saying that's going to happen to him if ESPN has an issue with him being vocal, because he's not going to change himself. He's not going to sit here and talk about the Lakers all day like everybody else. He's going to talk about more topics like he wants to do on ESPN, like he has been doing on TNT. So yeah, man, I would like to see how that works out, man, because we know ESPN, Disney, we know the agendas that they like to push over there. So we'll get to see how that relationship plays out, man, because you know that is a network full of people that sit there and hate on each other, man. So many videos I did of other ESPN analysts hating on other ESPN analysts, all because the other person is a top guy at the time or something, man. So yeah, man, we'll see how that plays out. I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. How do you guys feel about that? Don't forget to hit that like button if you made this far in the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.